Welcome back. It's your boy B. The credit goes to that for no time. It is back to get back into another reaction video. Oh, we got to jump back into this Larry Bird rabbit hole. Larry Bird's most savage moments, aka Mr. French Lick himself, huh? Mr. 6'9", 6'10", depending on who's guarding him and what day it is. Deadeye, assassin, a dime maestro, brother. Just do it all. Top 5 all time. You know who it is. It's Larry Bird. Let's go ahead and get into it. Most savage moments. You know this is going to be crazy. Just come on. I'm a basketball encyclopedia. So anything basketball related, I'm in. Let's just soak it all in. Let's get it, soak it all in. The 80s was crazy.
A part of the reason why Larry Bird was called legend was his brilliance as a basketball player.
Look at that
The
hair.
other part were his legendary and vicious trash-talking skills. Bird was a killer on the court.
Ooh,
he had a
left-handed.
foul mouth, and he wasn't afraid of anybody. This explosive combination gave birth to some of the most ruthless trash-talking stories in NBA history. So here are the 10 best Larry Bird savage moments. 1988 three-point shooting contest.
Look at
The
young
three-point
Larry.
shot in the NBA was first introduced in the 1979 NBA season, Larry's rookie year. 7 years later, at the 1986 All-Star Weekend in Dallas, the NBA brought the first official three-point shooting contest to the scene. Larry won it and repeated
Of course.
next year at the All-Star Game in Seattle.
Oh, back
in
to back.
1988, he was going for a three-peat in Chicago. Before the start of the contest, Bird entered the locker room, did not speak a word to the other competitors, and just took a good look at him. He finally said, "I'm just looking which one of you is going to come in second." The room was filled.
You know, Pops told me this story before, but it's always funny to hear, bro, just in there like, just chilling, you know, just, you know, everybody looking at this Larry, they like, what's Larry doing? What's up, French Lick? What's up? What's up, big dog? Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to see which one of y'all's coming in second. You
Filled with silence, because they all knew what kind of a shooter Bird was.
Sniper.
Of course, Larry would go on to win again, proving that he's the best shooter in the world. He won without taking off his tracksuit, famously raising his hand while the contest-clinching three was still in the air. Response to Craig
crazy.
Hodges. Craig Hodges was one of the best shooters in the 80s, and he competed in the three-point shooting contest with Larry each time Bird was participating.
You see what you see. You see the goats. You see goats. You see goats. Larry, MJ. Now I know Larry beat Michael every single time they played each other in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. He's 6-0 against Mike. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Mike hasn't beat Larry in the playoffs. I don't think so. I'm a Bulls fan, so that it hurts to say, brother. I'm a Bulls fan, so just the wife's a Celtics fan, so you see what's going on here at the house, huh? I love my wife, but she's a Celtics fan. You just got to live with it. I'm a Bulls fan. It is what it is.
Larry won 3 times, and Craig finished second twice. When Hodges finally took home the title of the best three-point shooter at the All-Star Weekend in 1989, reporters asked him if the main reason for his victory was Bird's injury and non-participation. Craig said, "Larry knows where he can find me," and Bird replied, "I know where. At the end of the Chicago Bulls bench, the left-handed gang." Larry Bird was in the prime of his basketball brilliance in the 85-86 season, when he led the Celtics to the title. They lost only 1 game at home throughout the season and the playoffs,
that's
setting
crazy.
an NBA record with 50-1. The Portland Trail Blazers were the only team to defeat the Celtics at home in December, so
Okay.
they were a good bet to win in front of their crowd in February. Before the game, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot all his shots with his left hand, except long jumpers. This was the last game of a long road trip, and Larry would always find new motivations and challenges to get through the monotonous grind of the regular season. In the game against Portland, he'd go on to have one of the most memorable games of his career. He hit a shot to send the game to overtime, and then hit a game winner in the OT. Bird finished the game with 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. He scored 22 points with his left hand out of sheer boredom and fun, which tells you how insanely good and confident this guy.
First of all, that picture right there is hard. I need that framed. Mikhail and Larry, with the finals banner and a crowd behind him, that picture's hard. If it's in black and white or in color, that is fire. Secondly, brother, you just too good. You know what, fellas? Today I'm gonna play left-handed. What, Larry? What are you talking about? I need a challenge. We're playing. I'm just gonna everything left-handed, except for long balls, except for threes. Everything else left-handed. What? 47, 14, and 11 later. What in the world?
Was white guys guarding him. Larry is not white.
I heard this.
Larry is clear, said Bill Murray in Space Jam, while explaining Bird's ethnicity to Michael Jordan. Larry Bird had skills for days. He was thinking the game 3 moves in advance, and his jump shot was money. He was nimble at 6'9", but he wasn't by any means an athletic player. Bird suffered from WMCJ syndrome, which stands for White Men Can't Jump, and he was aware of it. On one occasion, he called basketball a black man's game due to the natural ability and athleticism of African American players. Because of that, he hated when the opposing teams would defend him with another white guy. Bird said that it was disrespectful to his greatness because he was dropping 30 and 40 on the most athletic players in the league.
Straight up.
So if you put an unathletic white guy on him, that's barbecue chicken right there. In the trainer's lap. The highest scoring game in Larry Bird's career came in the 1986 season, in a game against Dominique Wilkins in the Atlanta Hawks. At the beginning of the first quarter, it was obvious that Larry is in the zone. He'd hit everything he threw to the basket, with the announcers repeatedly saying they were watching the greatest shooting exhibition in basketball history. Bird scored 60 on 61% shooting and 15 of 16 on free throws, hitting ridiculous shots over several players.
That was crazy.
During the game, he suddenly said, "in the trainer's lap," to Hawks players, which meant he would try to make a 3 from the corner near the opposing bench. He got the ball, made the shot, and one Hawks player who tried to guard him tripped over and fell exactly into the trainer's lap, just like Bird predicted. The Hawks bench was so amazed that they were laughing and high-fiving each other.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Totally perplexed by Bird's brilliance.
That's crazy. You're going against a man who's one of the greatest ever, but you're competing at a high level. But in the middle of the game, you decide to start admiring and cheering for him. Brother, he's cooking your teammate. That is not what you're supposed to be doing. You got to sit there with a straight face and not do anything. Nowadays, you know what they do now? You got to watch the game. I watch the game. When somebody's cooking or somebody does something crazy on the other team, the other team's bench, they'll do like this. They'll either nudge each other or they'll hit knees or they'll like cover their face or do something. I'll be watching. I know what y'all doing. You're disguising it, but not for me because I see everything. I'll be like, oh, brother, look. They over there. Hyping up the move.
They were fined by their coach Mike Fratello for cheering on the opposing player, tormenting Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was one of the best defenders in NBA history, with quick feet, long arms, and a motor that never shut down. He was a pest, an annoying pest who never stopped guarding, provoking, and getting into everybody's face. And he used to be a nightmare for scorers around the NBA. However, when he was just starting out, he needed to get some schooling from Bird. After Larry scored 4 consecutive shots over Rodman, he opened his mean mouth and started destroying Rodman. Bird started yelling at Rodman's coach, Chuck Daly. "Who's guarding me, Chuck? Is anyone guarding me? You better get someone on me or I'm gonna go for 60. Even though Rodman was almost superglued to him in an effort to deny him the ball, Bird was at his sarcastic best.
Ooh.
"I'm open. Hurry up before they notice nobody is guarding me." Merry effing Christmas. 1990. Larry Bird loved to play against the Indiana Pacers, where he was always greeted as a king. It was where the hick from French Lick grew up, made his first basketball steps, and took Indiana State University to the 1979 NCAA Finals. And the game Boston played against the Pacers played on December 26, 1990, will forever be etched in memory of the Pacers shooting guard, Chuck Rifleman Person. Before the game, Person said to the reporters, "Rifleman is in the building. I'm going bird hunting today." At the tip-off, Bird replied to Person that he has a Christmas...
Oh, no. No, brother. Tell me you didn't say that. Oh, no. You don't go into Larry's house and say that.
Before the game,
you don't say
Person
that, period.
said to the reporters, "Rifleman is in the building. I'm going bird hunting today." At the tip-off, Bird replied to Person that he has a Christmas present waiting for him. While Chuck sat on a bench during the game, Bird received the ball in the corner and shot a three-pointer. As the ball was flying towards the basket, Bird turned to Person and said, "Merry effing Christmas." The ball, of course, came in without touching the rim, torching the Suns' bench.
Hit him with the Steph Curry before Steph Curry, so really it's called the Larry Bird. Because Steph does that now. He shoot it and don't look. You don't watch it go through. We call it the Steph. It should be called the Larry Bird.
Christmas. The ball, of course, came in without touching the rim, torching the Suns' bench. The best teams in the NBA often coast through the regular season and can lose their edge and focus when playing against mediocre opponents. In one game against the Phoenix Suns, the Celtics lost a double-digit lead and were trailing by 2 in the final seconds. The Celtics had the possession, and they could tie the game and go to overtime, or win it with a 3. Larry knew his Celtics shouldn't be losing a game to the Suns, and he wanted to play no overtime. So he went to the Suns bench and told all the players and coaches what was about to happen. "Yeah, I'm going to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this." Unsurprisingly, he lived up to his word. As the ball was still in the air, he turned towards the Phoenix bench and yelled, "Told you so," as the ball was going through the net. Calling his shot against Xavier McDaniel.
That's crazy.
Xavier McDaniel was one of the most notorious NBA players in the 80s. And on the courts, he liked to get physical, like Olivia Newton-John. When he was playing for the Sonics and the Knicks, nobody was really messing with X-Man. However, Bird was not afraid of a scuffle, and there are multiple stories of Larry participating in bar fights during his NBA career.
Legend. Larry's a real one. Now, look, I don't condone violence, obviously. But Larry said, look, just because I'm in the NBA, don't get it twisted. I will knock you the...
However, Bird was not afraid of a scuffle, and there are multiple stories of Larry participating in bar fights during his NBA career.
He's 6'9".
At crowded Supersonics Arena, Boston and Seattle played a close game tied just 10 seconds before the end. At that point, Celtics coach Casey Jones called a timeout, and Bird confidently told him to just give him the ball and that the others move the hell out of the way.
All right.
On his way back to the floor, Larry said, "That's exactly where I'll get the ball, and I'll score the game winner in your face," while X-Man replied, "I know you will get it there. I'm waiting for you." Bird received the ball right where he said he would and made a tough fadeaway shot. After Bird realized there were still 2 seconds left, he told McDaniel,
I remember this.
"Damn, I didn't want to leave 2 seconds on the clock," while X-Man walked back to the Sonics bench in disbelief, tormenting a young Clyde Drexler.
Sheesh.
Before Clyde Drexler came into the NBA, he was one of the best players in college basketball, forming the famous Phi Slamma Jamma with Hakeem Olajuwon at the University of Houston. Drexler was selected by the Blazers with the 14th pick in the 1983 NBA draft. And even as a rookie, he was already one of the most athletic guys at his position. However, Bird wasn't impressed. When Drexler subbed in the game against the Celtics, he started guarding Bird. Larry smiled at him and mockingly said, "You can't stop me. You're a rookie. You don't know anything." He would proceed to hit jump shot after jump shot over Drexler before the Blazers coach had mercy on him and subbed him out, while Bird was laughing at Clyde on the way to the bench.
Larry. What a legend. Hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what your favorite Larry Bird story is in the comments below. Oh, I like that. I'm going to make this shot and then fall into the trainer's lap. I also like playing left-handed. I like the story about the 3-point contest where he came in and that might be my favorite. I'm trying to see who's coming in second. I'm trying to, oh no, I'd have been so hot. Then he went out there and did it. Did it all in his warm up. I mean, the brother is a goat. You hear me? Y'all better leave Larry alone. Larry was a dog. Wow. Which one of y'all coming in second? That's how I should start doing reactors. Which one of y'all? I'm just trying to see who's gonna have the second best video behind me. Who's coming in second? Respectfully, brother. Brother, it's a competition, brother. It's doggy dog out here, brother.